Welcome to Goal Talks. On these little clips, we're going to meet some very interesting people that are going to connect sports, football particularly, and mental health and wellness. I hope you enjoy. Welcome to Goal Initiatives. This is Goal Talks. Today we have Maff Brown from the UK joining us to have a quick response to mental health in sport and everything that the foundation is pushing hard to come across with. We believe at Goal Initiatives Foundation that mental health and sport go hand in hand, and that this is one way to feel better at the end of a very long day, week, month, or year. Maff, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So the question is very simply, and obviously there's no simple answer, but in the world of sport and specifically football and mental health, do you believe, or have you ever seen in a situation where sport or physical activity has helped somebody, he or she, work through a very hard situation?
Well, I mean, the reason you go into sport is, one, you enjoy it, and two, you get the adrenaline rush. But it's also, it makes you forget. It makes you switch off from the day, switch off from the troubles. If you go and play football for an hour, you're concentrating only on that hour. You're concentrating only on the game in front of you. And that allows you to completely forget the world that you're in or the problems that you're dealing with, whatever it may be. It might be a very small problem to a very large problem. But it can definitely make you forget what's going on. But you've got two options at that point, haven't you? You either deal with it with sport or with football, or you deal with it with drugs or alcohol or a self-destructive path. Sport allows you to completely get that demon off your back for an hour. And also, I don't know about you, Paul, but whenever I've done exercise, afterwards you're so pumped up. The adrenaline that you've got, the endorphins have been released, and it makes you feel so much better. And it also makes the rest of your life go better, because then you're eating better, you're sleeping better.
You're conversing better.
Conversing better, to give you that whole way of getting something out of your mind for an hour. It's just imperative. It's so important. And I still do it myself. I don't play anymore, but I still go to the gym for that reason, and I hate running. It's so boring. But if I go for a run for 45 minutes, my mind is completely clear, and when you come home, you get that runner's high, you feel good about yourself, you feel smug, you put it on Instagram to show you what you've just done, you get applause from that. So you keep that high going in another way. But it's absolutely vital, and I'd recommend it to anybody.
Fantastic. I appreciate that. And there's also the other little element that we believe as well, is there's specifically with football, there's team. And because there is team, that gives you another opportunity for a boy or girl that's involved in that sport to be able to potentially talk to somebody or be around another individual if they're feeling low or down, or in some states they're alone all the time until they actually hit the pitch or the five-a-side indoors. And being around another human and that energy is also a very positive piece of this.
Yeah, the social side of football is incredible. As a comedians, we tend to have our days free because we work at night. So every Tuesday, or used to, obviously, before this rubbish started, but every Tuesday at 2:00 in Crystal Palace, 20 to 30 comedians get together and have a game of football. We don't get the opportunity to mingle with each other or converse, or even, we don't have conferences or anything like that. Sometimes we'll go to the Edinburgh Festival and run into each other, but that hour is where we can all come together. We don't talk about comedy, we don't talk about work, we just talk about football, and we play football. Now, the problem with that is that you've now got 20 massive egos all on the pitch at the same time.
Right.
So it can have a detrimental effect at times, but it's still great. It's still getting that to, getting together with your friends, and then you talk about it. And then that becomes fun for us, because then when we meet up at a gig another time, you start talking about the goal you scored.
Right.
And
rather than the other things. Exactly.
Rather than stuff about work. And I played when I went to university, I was talking to you about another podcast about playing at university. In fact, this happened 5 days ago. I text somebody. I made a pass in a game in 1999, and I just text that guy who I played football with then, just literally said the words, "What a pass that was." And he sent the text back, went, "Brilliant pass, great finish." I didn't have to say anything else.
That's fantastic. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, and that's where we're going to leave it. Maff, thank you for joining us on this conversation. Again, mental health, sport and play and all that involves. Mental health is nothing to be shy about. It's something to talk about, and it's a very open and broad subject. There's many categories to it. So we appreciate your few moments today. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me, Paul. Cheers.
Thanks.